Coco Gauff silences Viktorija Golubic with 10 fiery words after brutal diss. The real warrior has spoken. It was supposed to be an ordinary post-match day in the world of tennis, until Coco Gauff, the 21-year-old sensation and reigning Grand Slam champion, dropped 10 words that sent shockwaves across the sport. What started as a tense match between Gauff and Swiss veteran Viktorija Golubic quickly turned into one of the most talked-about rivalries of the 2025 season, a showdown of words, willpower, and raw emotion. What did Coco say? Why did those 10 words cut so deep that fans across the world began calling her the real warrior? Let's rewind to the match that lit the spark. Tennis the Match, a battle of fire and composure. It all began on a humid evening in Singapore, where the atmosphere buzzed with intensity. Coco Gauff, known for her fierce athleticism and laser focus, was facing Viktorija Golubic, a crafty player with sharp tongue and an even sharper backhand. From the start, it was clear this wasn't going to be a gentle match. Golubic, visibly frustrated by Gauff's speed and dominance, began muttering under her breath, words that cameras partially caught. All power, no brain. She sneered after losing a crucial rally. The microphones didn't miss it. Neither did the crowd. The energy shifted immediately. Fans gasped. Commentators hesitated. And Coco? She heard it, every syllable. But instead of reacting in anger, she smiled. A calm, knowing smile that said, wait. Because Coco Gauff doesn't retaliate in the middle of battle. She waits until the war is won. Collision the turning point. Gauff's explosive comeback. The first set was tight. Golubic took it 7-5, fueled by a mixture of precision and provocation. Between points, her body language dripped arrogance. Long stares, smirks, and slow claps aimed directly at Gauff. The audience could feel the tension boiling. But then, something shifted in the second set. Coco's expression hardened. Her footwork quickened. Every stroke became sharper, cleaner, deadlier. She began dictating every rally with rhythmic precision, turned the match into a masterclass of mental and physical dominance. Down 0-2, she stormed back to win 6 straight games. Then, in the third set, she dismantled Golubic 6-0. The match ended in thunderous applause, but the real moment came after the handshake, when Coco finally decided to break her silence. Fire the 10 fiery words that shook the tennis world. As the two met the net, Golubic offered a cold good match, dripping with sarcasm. Coco, still composed, looked her in the eye and replied, firmly, clearly, and without hesitation. Power means nothing without respect. Remember who taught you. 10 words. That was all. The crowd exploded. Commentators went silent for 3 full seconds before the arena erupted in a wave of cheers. Those 10 words, poised, powerful, poetic, weren't shouted. They were declared, like a queen reclaiming her throne. High voltage to fallout. Tennis world divided. Within minutes, the clip went viral. Sports networks played it on repeat. Twitter, or X, as it's now called, flooded with reactions. Fire Coco just delivered the line of the year. That's not trash talk, that's truth talk. Gauff doesn't need to scream. Her composure burns louder. Meanwhile, Golubic's camp reportedly felt disrespected, insisting that Coco had overreacted. But for fans, the message was clear. This wasn't arrogance, it was self-respect. Tennis legends like Serena Williams, Naomi Osaka, and Billie Jean King chimed in subtly on social media. Serena's post read, when grace meets grit, the real warrior always wins. It didn't take long for #RealWarrior and #Coco Gauff Challenge to trend globally. Dizzy the meaning behind the words. Why did those 10 words resonate so deeply? Because they weren't just about a match. They were about every struggle Coco Gauff has faced in her rise to greatness. Ever since she burst onto the scene at age 15, Coco has faced critics who dismiss her talent as raw power. Many doubted her mental maturity, saying she relied too much on athleticism and not enough on tennis IQ. But what they missed, what Golubic failed to understand, is that Coco Gauff is both a fighter and a philosopher. Her strength isn't just in her forehand, it's in her mind. Those words, power means nothing without respect, remember who taught you, were a reminder to every opponent, critic, and fan that true greatness is not built on dominance, but dignity. It was also a subtle nod to her idol Serena Williams, who faced similar dismissals early in her career. Rose the warrior within. Coco's journey to emotional maturity. In interviews days later, Coco refused to elaborate on her words. "I said what I needed to say," she smiled. But her coach, Brad Gilbert, offered insight. Coco's learned to channel her emotions. She doesn't fight with her mouth. She fights with her heart and her racket. And that's what makes her special. Because Coco Gauff's greatest evolution hasn't been physical, it's emotional. She's no longer the teenager reacting to every slight or pressure. She's a young woman mastering the art of restraint, striking only when it truly matters. This maturity has made her not just a player, but a symbol. She represents balance, the harmony of passion and poise. Brain, a masterclass in mental strength. Sports psychologists praise Coco's reaction as a textbook display of controlled assertiveness. Dr. Eliza Hart, a mental resilience expert, commented, "Athletes often lose control when provoked." But Coco demonstrated mastery of self. She didn't let emotion cloud her judgment. She converted it into focused execution. Her words at the end were not anger, but closure. Indeed, that's what set her apart. Coco didn't stoop to insult. Speech ballooned the ripple effect. A lesson for every athlete. In a world where social media thrives on drama and outrage, Coco's composure felt refreshing, revolutionary, even. Coaches began showing her post-match clip to young players as a model for how to handle provocation with dignity. Schools use her quote in motivational speeches about respect and discipline. Her 10-word became more than a viral moment. They became a mantra. Power means nothing without respect. It's a phrase that transcends sport, echoing in classrooms, boardrooms, and beyond. Glowing star from challenger to champion, the legacy of that moment. By year's end, Coco's season had become the stuff of legend. She went on to win another WTA 1000 title and reached the semifinals of the U.S. Open. But when asked what moment defined her most in 2025, she didn't mention a trophy. She mentioned that match. "That was the day I realized who I am, not just as a player, but as a person. You don't need to shout to be heard. You just need to speak with truth." And that's the essence of Coco Gauff, the young woman who turned provocation into poetry, conflict into calm, and pressure into purpose. Sparkle's epilogue. The real warrior has spoken. When the dust settled, fans looked back at that fiery exchange not as a scandal, but as a statement. A declaration of self-respect in an era of noise and rivalry. Coco Gauff didn't just win a match. She won hearts, respect, and a permanent place in the annals of tennis greatness. And those 10 words will be remembered long after the final score fades from memory. Power means nothing without respect. Remember who taught you. The real warrior had spoken, and the world listened. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, and share. Till next time.